Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner of the ley lines, we've got the Blue Terran. For the Shopify Rebellion, it's ByuN. Yeah, you better go change your ByuNdies, because it's time for the grand final. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner, we've got for Falcons Esports, Solar. I mean, this is going to be a banger of a match. We just got to see ByuN against Rogue. ByuN did look very, very strong, but I do feel like the way he played against Rogue is not... I feel like that's not going to work against Solar. Like, I feel like Solar is a very different kind of player than Rogue. I don't think that's crazy to say. And I don't think that hyper-aggressive... I don't even want to call it hyper-aggressive, but he was very committed on a first a 2-base and a 3-base attack against Rogue in a way that I feel like isn't going to work quite as well against Solar. Solar is, I think, a little bit more comfortable sitting on that mid-game tech and just kind of overpowering those types of pushes early in a way that it did feel like Rogue was trying to get somewhere else and ByuN kind of interrupted him. Yeah, this match going to be bonkers, dude. It's going to be bonkers. Never change. Never change, chat. You're beautiful. But we'll see. We'll see. I expect a little bit more, I don't want to say conservative play out of ByuN. I think he's still going to be pretty aggressive, but I think it's going to be maybe a little more macro-focused against Solar. We might see some longer games here with ByuN going for a little bit more like along the lines of just drops, marine drops, kind of split map scenarios. It'd be really fun to see some big macro games in this grand finals. It's, you know, it's sad that with Dark going into the military, he's one of our most consistent finalists up to now, and we're just not going to have him for at least, you know, it'll be like a couple years. And Hero not playing this week, our two most winningest KSL players. We don't have either of them this week. Hero should probably be back. If not the next KSL, then the one after, perhaps. He plays pretty consistently. But, yeah, losing Dark is unfortunate. That being said, I'm really happy to have ByuN and Solar playing this week. Solar hasn't been playing in as many of these, so I really appreciate seeing him in here. ByuN has been playing a bit more consistently, and he's actually, I believe, the third... Yeah, he's the third most consistent finalist of the KSL behind Hero and Dark. So, hope to get these guys playing a bit more consistently, and maybe we can have some other fun matchups in the finals. TVZ is always just a joy. Just a joy. And this is no exception, as we've already got a third base here from ByuN. Ley lines, pretty solid macro map, and he's going to try to take advantage of that. He's going to try to play something a little bit fun here. We got two factories on the way. This is Mech. Solar is going to come in. He's going to scout the third. He's going to see that Hellions are still being made, but that's really it. He doesn't see anything else. He might suspect factories. Seeing no unit-producing structures here, seeing nothing flying yet, it's a bit, I would say, concerning for Solar. I imagine he's going to be expecting that Mech is a possibility here. But I don't know how often ByuN has been playing this. It's possible that he's been just kind of playing this really, really seldomly, and he's just pulling it out here for some fun against Solar in the finals. ByuN is definitely a kind of player that getting to a finals of a smaller online tournament like this, he will have fun with his builds. He will go a little bit wild with it sometimes. So maybe he's just pulling this out for shits and giggles. There's going to be Cyclones, though, even getting the Cyclone upgrade, which has a name that I definitely remember. Ling again going to try to get in. ByuN being very cagey about this. It really feels like he's trying to surprise Solar. Now, Solar is just getting into Roach speed. He's got some Lings on the way. Going to start up some Roaches, but this is gonna hit really hard, I feel like. He's even got Blue Flame coming up. I'm kind of worried. I think Solar might just die here, dudes. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the right response is to this, but I feel like Solar is not quite sure what's coming across the map. And oh my god, that Ling is going to miss it. That Ling is going to miss it. I think it saw the floating barracks. That might be somewhat of a tell. He's got 10 Roaches on the way. It's about the best he can do here. There's only 4 Cyclones for now, but there's Magfield Accelerator. God, I can't believe I forgot the name of that upgrade. And Infernal Pre-Igniter finishing up. Scanning to see the high ground. Gets 3 Queens with those lock-ons. Roach speed is still not done, man. There is Blue Flame. Not a lot of Lings out here. In fact, it doesn't look like there's any Lings, so the Blue Flame's actually not going to be very effective at all. But those lock-ons are very effective, man. Jesus. No more Cyclones coming across the map. It looks like ByuN is just keeping it to what's here. He is going to lose a Cyclone there. A couple more Roaches. Okay, there's the reinforcements coming across the map now. As Cyclone's built pretty slow these days. Ooh, it's a nice flank by just a couple of Roaches there, but gonna pick up a couple extra kills because of it. Solar is only on 66 drones. He is just pumping Roaches right now, getting a few Infestors out. It's a great way to deal with this. If you can lock these units down at all. I mean, ByuN's army, it's very much like Blink Stalkers in that it needs to be kind of hyper efficient. Like we see the efficiency here. That's what these need to do, and Infestors just make that virtually impossible to keep that efficiency up. Any fungal is just going to make it so much more difficult. Solar's still not in a great spot, though. There is a 4th base on the way for ByuN. ByuN is ahead in workers right now, and he is just continuing to build factories and pump these Cyclones. And if he can just keep the Cyclone count up, he's up to 9 right now. As I say that, though, he's down to 7. Ooh. Almost gets hit with a couple biles there, but ByuN a little too good for that. Dodges those biles and continues to pick off Roaches and Ravagers. Solar's supply, though, is jumping pretty high ahead here. And while these units can be pretty efficient, if he's not able to actually keep Solar's army supply down, Solar is at some point going to have enough to kind of just move across the map. And without any siege tanks or anything back at home, ByuN is not going to be able to defend. And I think that's what Solar is counting on. That he's just been building Cyclones. So eventually, if Solar takes the fight to him, he's not going to have anywhere to like retreat to. Be a big problem. So ByuN decides to pull back for now. So he gets a lot more of these factories finished up. Are we going to see some tanks coming out? There's 1 on the way. Just 1. Yeah, but here comes Solar. This is not going to be a planetary. Oh, no, now it is going to be a planetary, but a big fungal catches 4 Cyclones. Oh, and he's catching even more now. SCV is coming off the line. It just feels like ByuN doesn't quite have enough here, even eating a bile to lose a Cyclone. And Solar, he held on against that first wave of Hellions and Cyclones just well enough to keep building that army. And we hit that point, just what I was talking about, where he can just kind of overwhelm and push this army back. There's only so much these units can do. He's lost so many workers, ByuN. The planetary's up, though. Maybe this isn't quite as over as I thought. With that planetary alive, Solar, I think, is going to have to let this 4th live. A lot of SCVs going down, but the worker count's the same. If ByuN can get I feel like he should want tanks here, but I guess not. He's just continuing to build Cyclones. Third base is still under a lot of pressure right now. He's just trying desperately to use that efficiency to his advantage. It's not, I don't know, man. I don't think 1,500 resources is efficient enough. So many SCVs have died. Somehow there's still quite a few alive. The ones at this third base, though, are in some trouble. SCVs turning around to fight, just trying to body block for the Cyclones to get as much efficiency as they possibly can. But here's where there's nowhere to run back to. And Solar, he's got no chill, man. If Solar smells blood in the water, he is just going to keep on pressuring. ByuN is going to push this away, but he has lost a lot of workers now. Solar, in the meantime, is happily on 4 bases. Fifth is about to finish up. He's getting a few more drones just to kind of keep pushing that slight advantage he has. That being said, ByuN somehow during this took another base. I still feel like, I don't know if he's got like enough here, but 16 Cyclones is pretty damn good. There's not a lot of Roaches and Ravagers here for Solar. Oh, man. Fungal whiffs somehow. And down goes the Infestor. Bile's connecting pretty well. Ooh, there's another Fungal available. It's a good Fungal there. ByuN trying to get away, but the second Fungal will lock those units in place. As some Lings go for a runaround, but they're not really finding the damage they needed to. I genuinely thought this game was just fully over. It felt like Solar was going to run him over with the Roaches, but ByuN kept producing SCVs. So even though he lost 47 this game, he was never really down very many. And I don't know, this graph's kind of back and forth. Like now that he's got this 5th base up and mining, Solar feels like he's having a kind of a tough time breaking through. He's going to build a hive now, but we're 13 minutes into this game. The hive is feeling a little late. Now, that being said, ByuN doesn't have anything behind this. And we've seen ByuN do this kind of thing before where he just builds Cyclones. We're only at 22 right now. I'm pretty sure we saw a game where he had like 50 of them. It was insane. But Dark had 44 Swarm Hosts in that game, so who knows? Who knows what was the right call there? Solar building some Banelings now. Bane speed is nearly done. He's also getting into Aspire. I didn't see any Vipers, though. Now that there's some tanks out. Oh, man. A couple of Infestors going down. They do get a Fungal off, but not the biggest Fungal in the world. Oh, and now there's 2 Cyclone armies. I thought Solar had it, but man, I'm starting to really feel this for ByuN. I feel like he's in a great spot. I don't know if Solar's got the tools to deal with it. Solar does not think he has the tools to deal with it. And there it is. ByuN takes game number 1 in a mech game. Man, I was ready. I was sending that. I was doing the caster thing where the game feels like it's building to end soon. So you're kind of building up the message of the game about to end. But then, like, Solar couldn't finish it. He couldn't quite crack in. He tried to break the natural, and he was just losing too much, so he pulls back. He thinks, okay, I got to be ahead workers. I've killed 45, right? He doesn't know that exactly, but he's killed so many. He's like, I got to be ahead in workers. I got a 5th base finishing. I should be good to just kind of macro, tech a little bit, and then we can take them on. But ByuN did an incredible job macroing through that. Continued to build an SCV, so while he lost 47, he never fell more than, I think, 7 SCVs behind Solar's drone count. And at some point in there, he built a 5th base and just took it. He just went and took that base as he retook his 3rd. So he was basically even on bases. And that efficiency started really coming into play. Kind of a crazy game, honestly. That was really not what I was expecting from game 1 of this series. So let's hope they keep the energy up. Getting into game 2 here on Pylon, spawning in the lower right-hand corner. It is ByuN. And his opponent in the upper left, it is Solar. I don't really expect another mech game out of ByuN. But honestly, I didn't expect the first one. So it would be kind of cool to see him do that again. Pylon's another map that I feel like this is not too dissimilar from Leyline's map. I don't know if the Cyclones would work quite as well in some of these positions, but I don't know. I kind of feel like they would. I feel like you could really get away with retreating in any of these positions. There's a lot of ways to move around this map, which usually behooves the Cyclone player. Is you really just need an escape route with Cyclones. The one thing you don't want to get is trapped between armies, or you don't want to like retreat yourself into kind of a corner here where they can get around the side and just keep doing damage as you get back. ByuN kind of scraped by in that last game by the skin of his teeth. Very nearly died to Solar's counterattack, so I don't know that he wants to play that style again. I feel like surprising Solar with the Cyclones, I guess it did work just well enough to get him through that game. Six Lings here because Solar knows this is a ByuN Reaper and he's going to try hard his Reaper as best as he can. That's another quick third base from ByuN. I'm not too surprised to see that. I feel like against Solar tends not to be super aggressive like early on, doing anything real crazy, so I think it makes sense for ByuN to just kind of play this out in a very macro forward way. Starport going down though, so definitely not the same kind of build as last game. I don't know if a starport ever got made last game. I think there may never have been a starport. Ooh, ByuN lost his Reaper. That's crazy. But what's even crazier is, remember like 3 seconds ago and I was like, Solar doesn't usually do any like really hyper aggressive openings. He's doing one. He's doing one, and those Queens wanted to make sure that the Reaper didn't scout that. And ByuN's natural is gonna like have to lift here. In fact, these Hellions are gonna run out, and this is scary, man. These Hellions are just gonna die. SCV's coming up. They're just going to have to turn and fight, but they are all going to go down. These 2 Marines holding down the fort. But yeah, ByuN's going to have to lift this base up. That is 8 dead workers. I think the Lings probably should just run away at this point. They're going to stay here just to threaten. But, I mean, that's already fantastic damage. What a great opening from Solar. Building extra Lings at the start just to surprise ByuN. Kind of expected that he wouldn't have any sort of a wall up. Hit at the perfect time. But now ByuN's just down a bunch of workers. Solar pumping drones behind that. The Lings can come home, and he kept most of them alive. He only lost 8. So he can just defend the Hellions now with the Lings he's already made. This is a great opening from Solar. I think it's a good way to kind of kick his mind into the right gear also. It feels like he might have been a little frustrated at the end of that last game. He knows he overcommitted to the counterattack. And because ByuN just kind of lived through it, that was why it was so hard for Solar to do anything after that. He committed 100% to that attack, and it didn't work. And it's very frustrating to have that sort of thing happen against like a mech player, especially, I feel. So I feel like Solar needed a nice win early on in this game, get his head back into it. But ByuN is building 2 more barracks. He's got Stim on the way. This is a much more standard, taking the 3 base. But again, that opening worked really well because we see how cautious ByuN is with these Hellions, just now sending them out. Those Hellions could have been out here the whole time in a normal game. Those Hellions are the thing putting on pressure. But now, because Solar put on pressure with the Lings, the Hellions stayed home. The Banshees get shoved away immediately. And in a game where we would have expected ByuN to kill a handful of drones, or at least trade pretty decently with Lings, he just hasn't been able to do that. He hasn't killed anything really on Solar's side of the map. So he's just going to take his 3rd and defend it and hope that he can macro himself back up. But that's a tough position to be in. I think Solar should be really happy with this. He's got 1-1 in Bane speed on the way. Drops an Infestation Pit immediately after that lair is done. And he's just gearing up for the Marine follow-up, which he hasn't technically scouted. I'm a little surprised by. Did ByuN? He didn't get cloaked for these. That's kind of wild. You rarely ever see 2 Banshees and no cloak between them. Well, ByuN building all of his producing structures. The 2nd factory going down already. So he is going to continue that tank production, which is something we saw against Rogue, actually. He was very consistent with that tank production. But here's that Marine pressure. He sees the Banelings. He's just going to pick up and get out of dodge. Banshee's still putting some pressure on, but again, with no cloak, they're not really going to be able to get much done. It doesn't seem like ByuN is really watching too closely. There you go. Now he's microing a little bit. There's no Sport Crawler here. See, a bit of a problem. 1 Queen can come over and finish this. There it goes. But now the Marines come back in. I don't know. Okay, the Hellions hit at the same time. So ByuN putting a lot of pressure on. I gotta say, it's not feeling like that's getting a lot of damage done. Oh, all the Queens going down, though, is huge. I think ByuN is going to target down 1 Bane and then get out of there. But with no Queens around, you just go into the main base. Gotta be careful of the Spore and the 1 Queen that is in the main. A lot of dead Queens, though. 6 Queens going down. We're going to need to see Solar rebuild at least a few of those. They're an important part of the defense, but also of the macro, obviously, as having 3 Queens, it's an okay amount to inject. But Solar's heading into an Infestation Pit as well as a Hydra Den. He's got Adrenal on the way. He's getting Overlord speed. Again, just doing a little trading here. He's got another drop moving out on the left. Marines joining up here. Kill these Lings. He's got a drop on the right-hand side, possibly moving out. He wants to keep that pressure on and keep Solar down. I don't know. He's doing a great job of it, though, because Solar's on 90 drones. He is on 5 bases now. He's got the hive already well done. It is well done. That's not a rare hive. That's a well-done hive. So well done that the Lurker Den's on the way. There's Vipers out already. Ultra Cavern is done. He could start up Chitinous. Ooh, nice Parasitic Bomb. He's going to get 1 medevac with that. He's going to get the other medevac with that as well. This one's going to get out of here. Same time, a few drones are going down, but the Marines are going to have to pick up and get away. I don't think all those Marines fit in those medevacs. All right, a couple of them go down, clearing space for the rest. Oh, you know what? I thought ByuN was going to keep up with tanks, but I guess seeing no roaches, he decided to go into Widow Mines, I believe. Means they have drilling claws as well, so he's going to be strong Widow Mines, but I feel like ByuN's pressure has been pulled off right now because Solar's defense has been so solid. Solar hasn't really lost much. He's going to be forced to cancel the 6th base, but yeah, I think he's kind of all right with that. He's going to try to... ByuN's going to try to move over here to the right-hand side and hit this 5th. But the Lings and Banes are here. Great splits from Solar. Oh my god, the mine drags even hitting friendly firing some of these Marines. Look at how low these Marines are. Now there's a lurker at the top of this ramp as well. Doesn't quite have range yet, but that's still a scary unit. Ghost Academy is coming down for ByuN. So ByuN's pressure, not able to get, it feels like, that much done there. He has traded quite well so far this game. But it's just kind of been trading units for units. We're not really seeing much of value here, except for this. ByuN is now forced to cancel on this base 3 times. Doesn't quite get the drone. But delaying that 6th is really nice. There are no lurkers over on this side. The lurkers are all on the upper right still. Widow Mines get some great connections. ByuN is still going to get out of there, but that was one of his best attacks so far. Looks like he still has a little bit of a drop going just to pull Solar back into the main base. Helps cover his retreat a little bit. And that's going to give ByuN time to get these ghosts out. I love the changeling in here. What's up, guys? What are we doing? Where are we going? Just reporting back home. I imagine the changeling looks like a ditto. You know, it has that like ditto face. So anybody who gets really close to that Marine just can absolutely tell immediately that that's a fake person. And you're like, what's going on here? We do have some Nidus Worms coming down, so Solar is just going to try to pull ByuN a little bit out of position. But as I say that, ByuN hits into this base, forcing the Lings back home. Lings not going to trade particularly well against this. Oh my god, but the yoinks. That medevac's going all over the place. Same time, ByuN is like pushing away. I think there was an army hitting over here, but he doesn't want to run up that ramp. Nidus is done, but there's nothing actually coming out of it. Feels like Solar's just trying to set that up, but also trying to distract ByuN, right? ByuN here's the Nidus over here somewhere. And I think Solar was hoping to hit on the other side, but it gets a little crazy after a while. Drilling claws also means that these mines won't be killed until there's detection nearby. So there are just some mines that could be laid around. Might not die for a little bit. This Nidus gets found, but there is a lurker at it. The rest of the lurkers are over here hitting. But the whole army is converging on this. Those lurkers are just all going to die. This is actually really bad for the lurkers. Okay, Solar shows up with the rest of his army to try to guard at least a couple of them. Now as part of the army chases those lurkers, Solar's going to try to come into here, but that's a lot of bio, man. Solar trying to take the lower left base, trying to take the rich Vespian base over here, trying to cover just about everything he can. But ByuN's got a very powerful army. Big bioforce, advanced ballistics complete, so he can have long range liberators as well. He's got quite a few ghosts out, 9 ghosts on the field. That's a good amount to snipe out some of these units. The lurker count also just down to 7 right now. Wouldn't mind just getting free kills out there. So we are truly entering a late game scenario here. This is what I was hoping to see between these two. I feel like part of what ByuN was doing last game was maybe trying to stop this from happening by going for fun Cyclone play. Oh, ByuN comes to take his base, but that base is not going to get down today. Not right now anyways. Great parasitic bombs here, actually hitting a lot of these medevacs, forcing ByuN to focus on splitting those. Solar comes in, he kills a few of them, and he gets on out. Kills the base as well, it looks like. So that fifth base is not happening, and that's a real problem for ByuN. That is a 5th base. His 3rd is nearly mined out. His 4th is even getting pretty low here on some of these patches. He really desperately needs a base. His main is just gone. And in the meantime, Solar still on 93 drones, man. He has got a lot of mining left available to him. If he can sneak some drones down here and get mining down there, that would be fantastic as well, as I do not think ByuN has thought to check there yet. He has seen a little bit of creep, but I don't think he's noticed the little bit of creep. So I feel like if, honestly... Oh, there's the scan. Okay, he's going to spot it now. It's a bit unfortunate. I was going to say, if Solar could have snuck like 20 drones down there and just gobbled up as much of these mineral badges as possible, that would have been really nice, because this is really a ByuN base. But as I say that, ByuN, he's going to retake this 5th base. He's going to send some units over here, try to deal with this base, or at least set up a defensive position so Solar has a tough time cracking through into his base here. Solar's going to go for it anyways, man. He does not care. He says there's not enough on the ground to deal with this. And it seems he's right. This is not a planetary yet. The Hydra's just running through. Baneling smashing onto SCVs. Yeah, ByuN's going to clear this, but I don't think that really matters as much as the fact that he somehow let that base go down. Again. And ByuN is really struggling to mine right now. It's going to be a little bit before all this creep clears and he can land that base. Solar is still, he still has 3 solidly mining bases. ByuN has 0. Okay, he's got 1. He's got 1 solidly mining base. It's not going to be solidly mining for very long, though. He really needs another base. Look at this income graph. It is insane. No matter how efficient ByuN is, and he's been very efficient, it's not going to matter if he's not mining anything. He's really desperately trying to take this base, but Solar is not stopping, man. He wants to push in here and keep the army supply down. Any ghosts he kills, any liberators he kills are going to be really difficult for ByuN to replace. Yes, the mules can land and he can build marines all day, but those high gas units are going to be the real value here. And now we've got lurkers in the base being as annoying as possible. Honestly, the scan count might be a little low. There was just a huge mule hammer on that base. I don't know if, okay, ByuN does have a scan available, but at the same time, here comes Solar. He knows ByuN is distracted and he's going to come in here. That base isn't happening again. And now this base, the 3rd base, is going down. The lurkers have been killed. There's Nidus in the natural. ByuN can't deal with it. And it looks like Solar is on pace to take this game, because I don't see a way out of this for ByuN. The Nidus swarm popped here. It's just rude. These will be cleared. Honestly, I don't think it even matters. There it is. GG. ByuN just running out of steam, not able to ever secure a 5th base. And that's just crucial to that long game that we were headed towards. Solar knew it. Solar just kept expanding. ByuN wasn't really able to get much damage done on Solar's side of the map during any part of that game, and I think that is the crucial thing. From the very beginning, Solar set the pace by killing those SCVs and keeping ByuN defensive from the start. There's something in TVZ that's very momentum-based. You get a little bit of damage done, and it allows the next set of units to get damage done as well, especially for Terran. They need that kind of like damage done, allows the next bit of damage to get done, allows the next bit of damage to get done, and it just keeps stacking up. ByuN took damage at the beginning and was never able to even get step 1, and Solar just rode that through the game. GG. Seal Pup, how's it going, my friend? Thank you for reminding me. We do, in fact, have a Matcherino for this tournament. Still plenty of codes left to claim, so check that Matcherino out. Claim those codes. Help us pay these players. We have a $400 prize pool for every KSL. The Patreon supports most of that, but we do still need a little help here and there. Anything added to the Matcherino helps us out, helps us cover expenses. Patreon takes a little bit of money. Matcherino takes a little bit of money just for using services. It costs money. So if you can help us cover that, it's greatly appreciated. And in the meantime, we're going to get into game number 3. We are all tied up here. And spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Tokamak, we've got ByuN. His opponent in the lower left is none other than Solar. I was kind of hoping we'd see like the low ground 2 racks Reaper play out of ByuN. Well, I guess he hasn't been doing that as much. At least today. But we've got another pretty straightforward macro map here. Because we're not going to get any super fun maps in the first few games of the best of 5. We got some fun maps in the map pool, but feels like these guys want the more standard maps, which is to be expected. But one day I should do a tournament and like just reverse the vetoes. You have to like veto in advance and just reverse all the vetoes. Now you have to play on all the maps you don't want to play on. Play on all the least used maps. Map 1 is always the 3-player map. So I don't think I've seen it all. I think there was a like 1 game in the last KSL on it, but I didn't get to cast it. Tater Tutor, thank you for the $20 into the prize pool, my friend. I really, really do appreciate it. Bongarino Degens, dude. Goddamn Degens from Upcountry. Know what I mean? You're welcome, Stank Muffins. I don't think I've ever been called Stank Muffins, so that's a new one for me. I'm not sure what that is. I almost feel like I shouldn't say it. I feel like I missed something here. I feel like the Reaper was trying to get the creep tumor. No luck. I do love when we get some chatter from the players, though. But it seems like this is gearing up to be our most standard game so far. Unless somebody does something crazy, but ByuN is the 3cc Hellion Banshee opener. This is exactly what he was going for last game, I think. But he got interrupted by the Lings. But no Lings this game. Solar just playing it standy, Andy, defensive. Dealing with the harassment as it comes his way. So now we can get a real idea of where we stand with these 2 players. Which is kind of fun. I feel like the first 2 games, first game especially, was not what I expected. Game 2, I feel like ByuN just fell a little bit behind early on and was trying to find a way to get back into it and get a bit of an advantage. And Solar really never let him. It was just exactly the kind of play we expect from Solar. He's so good at deflecting all of the pressures. And I feel like he plays it so close where he's just got enough to deflect the pressure, and then he will turn around and turn the gas on and not ever turn it off. It kind of bit him in game 1, but in game 2, it worked out perfectly. Now, the Hellions here are going to try to dive in, and you know what? They're going to get in. Bit of an awkward wall from Solar, and the Queens are struggling to keep up. And oh no, the drones! Oh my god, the drones. And Solar was just unprepared for these Hellions to come in. The Lings working on the rocks. Got caught pants down, man. And that is 12 drones already as the Banshees are hitting at the same time. The Hellions are still not dead. They're finally going to go down. But that is 15 dead drones. And still these Banshees are around to be annoying. There are some Lings here for a counterattack, but Stim is done. And those Lings just got trapped in there with the Marines. That is actually insane. Solar just eating a bunch of damage there. Now, that being said, Solar is still ahead on drones. Losing 15 is very painful, but he did kill the Hellions. Got a little bit of damage done on the other side. Just a couple of SCVs, but you know, a couple of SCVs makes that damage feel a little bit easier to swallow. The Banshees are still around, but they once again don't have Cloak. So again, similar to last game, ByuN not counting on Cloak to really help him out here. Does mean that they're going to have a tougher time running away and a tougher time dealing with like creep tumors and things. Not going to be able to just cloak to escape from the Queens. But ByuN is moving out with his push, and because Solar just droned a bunch, doesn't have any Banes out yet. He's just now building a big round of Lings. 1-1 is almost done for him. It's actually going to finish before ByuN's 1-1. Trying to build some Zerglings here, but the Marines are just going to jump on top of them and cancel all of these Banelings that were morphing. Oh no, I don't like this for Solar at all. Oh, hold on, hold the phone. That was a big move there. ByuN needs to lift that up. Killing the full medevac. ByuN. Oh my god. Oh, he gets it. Okay, just barely. Jesus. I think he was microing these maybe. I don't really know what was happening, to be honest with you. But he saved that siege tank. It's got 5 hit points, but it'll still do max damage. It ended up working out really well for Solar, but it was super dicey. That tank will go down. The second tank goes down as well. More Marines coming across, but this momentum of ByuN, it's not feeling like there's a lot of momentum for ByuN right now. Bane speed finishes up. Well, Solar going to cancel those Banes, but I think he's got enough here to deal with at least that first group of Marines. The Queens are coming over as they can put some pressure onto these medevacs. So a lot of transfuse energy on these Queens as well. They can just kind of fight straight up for a little bit here. ByuN, I think, recognizes that, and he's going to back up and wait for some of these reinforcements. But that's also giving time for Solar to build more Lings and more Banes. Marines got to lift up and just barely get out of there, though, 16. It looked really dicey for Solar for a second, but sniping that medevac with 8 Marines in it, killing that tank, or I guess very nearly killing that tank so it was easier to kill later. That has made it all very much more possible for Solar to just keep holding on here. He's ahead in workers. He's got a 4th base on the way. ByuN going to split his pushes now. It's going to make it a lot harder to deal with. But there's still some good creep threat on the left-hand side for Solar to come deal with this. But I don't see anything on the right-hand side. This drone is going to be the first indication of the double drop here. Solar going to have to split his forces appropriately. And I don't think he's really done it. Oh my god, the base goes down. Okay, I was not expecting that. ByuN target firing the hatchery. And Solar sending a massive counterattack. while he's struggling to deal with this back at home. Ooh, counterattack running into a lot of Marines. Only gets 4 SCVs, and there's still a drop going on over here, a drop going on over here. Solar was looking good for a little bit there, but ByuN is finding damage, finding ways in to these bases. This base is very exposed right now. There's still long distance mining happening from this base. This one only just begun, so Solar not with the best mining position. Against ByuN, who's on 4 bases, ByuN taking that income lead. But all that being said, during this, Solar has been busy. He's got 3 Ultras on the way. He's got a Viper on the way. Adrenal is nearly done. Not a lot of Marauders in this composition yet. And while Chitinous is not going to be done for a while, a couple of Ultras against basically mass Marine is going to be pretty strong. Vipers can Parasitic Bomb these medevacs. We have one that's very low. Yeah, there's the Ultra coming out and ByuN realizing that I don't think this Marine force is going to be particularly good against it. Well, Marauder's going to sit out front and tank the Bane shots as well as some of this Ultra damage. More units coming down to deal with this. Not a lot left over on the left-hand side, but it's a pretty small drop from ByuN. Still enough to clear some of that creep and be very annoying. Ooh. Chitinous is done, but that Ultra just got minced up by this Bioforce. There's the Parasitic Bomb. ByuN, I think realizing it a little late, does lose the low hit point medevac. Solar is mining from this base. I don't know if ByuN ever realized that base was there. Yeah, he never actually went over there. A bit unfortunate. He's going to pressure back on this side now as he has his reinforcements hitting the right-hand side. Absolutely nothing in the main base to stop a drop up here. Wouldn't mind seeing the Sport Crawler at least move over to cover some of this ground. Lings do have Adrenal and Tutu, so they are pretty strong Zerglings against a drop like that. Looks like there is maybe an Infestor or 2 out, but the base is going to go down. And there's not a lot to support this Ultra. And oh my god, just like that, Solar is forced to tap out. It felt like that game was going to go on for a little bit longer. Solar seemed to be gearing up to a good position, but ByuN just constantly battering him on both sides. Eventually getting enough damage done. Those Ultras, I thought they were going to feel kind of big when they came out. And they just didn't feel big enough, man. They weren't able to get the cleaves that they needed to. And we're going to go into game 4. ByuN is up 2-1 right now. On match point. All right, here we go. Going to Ultra Love. I do hope we get a game 5, but we may not. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner, we've got ByuN in the red this time. Against his opponent in the lower left, it is Solar. I like to see the player's camera spamming around all the bases. It's always a good time. All right, Ultra Lev. Been in the pool a while. We're all pretty familiar with it. Just another pretty solid standard macro map. Nothing too much to speak of. I'm sure players have very specific ideas of the differences on each map. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just a caster, man. I don't believe in maps being good for one race or another, no matter what the data tells me. And what did I say last game? Oh, I was hoping ByuN would go for a couple of racks in the wall, build some Reapers. Well, he goes ahead and does it for me this game. Solar is going to scout it, and I think that's a crucial scout to know what you're up against. Yeah, pretty important scout. And on this map, there's no pervert pillar here for the Overlord to hide on. I don't know if it can hide on that. It kind of looks like it can. Yeah, I think that's a pillar there. So potentially could try to hide up there. But looks like it's going to go head out. It saw what it needed to see. More Reapers coming across the map here. But Queen is almost out. She's going to help deal with this quite a bit. Is the other Queen coming down? Going to drop a creep tumor first. It's just the 2 racks variety, so ByuN behind this, he's going for a 3rd CC. Not committing to any sort of big marine push. We've definitely... It's been a while since I've seen it. I don't know. I don't think he does it anymore. But there was one version of this where he would go... I think it was just 2 racks, actually. And then he would just follow it up with 2 more raxes and go into just mass stim marines. And he would walk across, like... I don't know, like 25 stim marines so quickly after this. And with like no banelings, it was so hard to hold. But I feel like once you do that a few times, you can't just keep doing it. You're gonna run out of chances. This looks like a pretty normal follow-up. Kind of just a 2-on-1 follow-up. Gonna have stim on the way. Maybe get a couple medevacs out here and do a little bit of a marine drop. I like this little doodad. I like that it moves a little bit, you know? It's like a little conveyor belt of holographic material. What is it doing? The world may never know. But I'm a big doodad fan. Always got to check out the doodads on the map. This one, of course, has rivers of energy flowing through it. Giant vortices. And just a great red versus blue color scheme going on here. Splits the map halfway. Fighting in the middle of the map. Just good stuff. Just really just good stuff. So we're starting up +1 melee. So again, going to stick with the Lingbane composition. Start things off. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. ByuN. We saw him do a Hellbat build against Rogue earlier, and he is bringing out the hot moves once again. This one's going to be very different, though. This is going to hit with a lot of Stim Marines. And he's got a follow-up, right? He's got a third base with this. So this is just going to be some Hellbats to help support this Marine push. Picking off some reinforcements here. It's going to be really important, making this third base a little harder to take. But ByuN is hitting the front lines, and it is just Lings and Queens here. The Bane Nest is not even close to done. There are some Reapers still with this as well. The medevac gets taken down. That's really crucial, but I just don't think there's enough for Solar here to deal with this. Can ByuN just crack him right now and end this game? These Stimmarines have no healing. Another Sim is going to put them very, very low, maybe even in the red. They're going to be at like 15 hit points. There's the Stim. A lot of them going down to the red with that. Drones are going to turn around to fight because there's nothing else. But that is it. GG. ByuN takes Solar out with a Hellbat push. I remember Artosis telling Terrans years ago, you got to stop doing those Hellbat pushes, man. They're just not good. But here we see the expertly executed Hellbat push can, in the right hands, turn into a W. And ByuN, he is the right hands. ByuN takes the 3-1 victory to secure his win in KSL number 75. That is going to be his 6th KSL victory, taking down Solar. Solar, like, man, I shouldn't have played. I wasn't going to sign up, and I did. Regretted it.